Welcome back to Growing and Glowing. This is your boy Brands.
And your girl wins.
Yes, and on today's episode, we will be talking about to get out of a funk or how to like reset yourself after falling into like a unmotivational the episode or so.
Yeah, so just getting out the funk.
Yes,
We're all obviously imperfect and we all have good days and bad days, and
yes,
sometimes the bad days really take a toll on us, and that's completely normal. And that's really what we really want to get across, that um we're all imperfect and we're all gonna have bad days, but it's not just about having those bad days, it's about how do you go about those bad days, how do you take charge of your life and not let those bad days really take a toll on you.
yes. I love that. Yes, and also just a disclaimer. Not everybody has this feeling. This is obviously just for the people who have those like that are like us and can relate to falling into like those episodes and how easy it is to fall into one and how hard it is to get out of one, right?
Yeah.
But this is what this video will be about, and it's how like what we do and how our experiences with that.
Yeah, exactly. We all go about things differently, and hopefully, you guys are able to learn something from us, or just learn to better manage like those bad days.
Yes, but how hard it is to actually get out of it,
Yeah.
because I feel like once you're in it, you kind of just get so motivated and you don't want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's the worst part about that, like just sitting around and not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I want to start by like just kind of explain like our versions of the funk. So obviously we're very like positive people, and we're trying our
Yes.
best every day to improve our lives and to just be better overall persons. But we do have bad days too. Like, don't
Yes.
get me wrong. Like, just because we put up this front where like, oh, we're like these positive people trying to help other people, like we're still inhuman, we still have feelings, and we still feel really profoundly emotions, and it really does get to us sometimes. And honestly, like 2 weeks ago, like we were both in a really bad funk.
Yes.
Like it was just such and we want to say like in a bad state of mind, so
Yes.
that's why we're calling this a bad funk, because it gets a lot of like bad rep behind it, but
Yes.
it shouldn't be seen as something that's like bad or like depressing or whatever. It should be seen as something that you can grow and learn from, and
Yes.
that's what growing and going is about.
Yes. And like I said before, I feel like it is in those moments, like the funk moments or like your moments where you feel like not the best, that you
Hmm.
do the most growing, and I feel like you do the most realizing in those moments, because there's nothing other than to just realize and to, do
Hmm.
better.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can actually get like yourself out of any like a bad mentality.
Yeah.
Getting yourself up and going out there and just doing what you need to do to get yourself out of that mentality.
Yes, agreed. So then as I was saying, like we were in a really bad funk about like two
Yeah.
weeks ago, and for me personally, I'm a very like active person. I have a routine down. I like to always be in my routine,
Yes, yes.
And it's like we have like this already set routine and like a stuff how we do. And when I'm not in that routine, and when I start feeling like a little sad or whatever, like when I fall out of my routine is I feel like when it really hits me. I stop doing my routine, I kind of go quiet. I don't really want to be around people. And I noticed that I start to feel like a little sad, a little dissociated, from everybody else. And I really just get a little cranky too. So it's not fun.
Yeah. What are some methods or things that you do
Hmm.
to, get yourself out of that space, or to even like feel a little better? Like,
Yeah. So I feel like what's really important is that timing.
mhm.
So I give myself like 3 days, or if it's really bad, I'll give myself, you know what? Okay, you have this week and this week only to be sad, cry all you want, getting your emotional state, whatever, like let it all out. Just this week. Next week, you are a completely different person, and you are going to get back to your routine, like no matter what. Because honestly, like some days you need that, like, and it's not the best choice to just let all your emotions sit in, because
No,
then that just takes a toll on you.
like a bomb, you
Yeah,
explode. That's
exactly.
like in the past,
Mm-hmm.
you just become explosive.
Yeah, like it's literally a ticking time bomb, and that's what we don't want. So it's okay to let yourself be sad. It's okay to give yourself a day to rest, a week, just don't go over a week, don't go over a month. Don't stay in this depressive state of mind, because it's ultimately going to win. Like your mind within each passing day gets weaker, and it's going to get used to having like this sad state of mind, and that's what we don't want. Like we want you to heal, we want you to feel, but we don't want you to be stuck in this.
Yes, correct. And I love that.
Thank you. And what do you do? So, what do you do to get out of this funk?
Well, for me, like whenever I do fall into it, is usually because I always on the go, and I really don't have time to
Mhm.
like sometimes really feel or to like pay too much attention to certain things that are going on. So like yo, I don't know where it hit me, and I'm not really like one to get emotional. So that's why when I do get like it, I do get into it. Like I basically just cry my feelings out because I'm like if I don't cry out now when I'm feeling like this, I'm really not gonna have another time to actually like sit down or feel down and like let my emotions out.
Mhm.
So whenever like I do feel like that, I like to like I don't know if it's my OCD or what it is in me or my ADHD. I like to reorganize everything. I like to like
Yeah.
take even if it's clean. Like I like to organize my clothes. I like to organize my underwear. I'm weird and I like to fold them just so I can
Mhm.
like reach and I have to look for whenever
Yeah.
I'm looking for. And then same thing with my socks. Like I just have to make sure all my socks are paired together. And I just go through all my stuff. Like I clean. I do my self care. I start like manscaping. I start shaving. I start doing hair care. I start doing skincare. And also just like I know it's gonna sound funny, but I also just, like make myself like healthy like green smoothies and take my
Mhm.
vitamins because I know like sometimes that does
Yeah.
we're like deficient in some vitamins. So I know that sometimes taking those like will like hype my mood up
Mhm.
and just doing like small things. Also like I don't know like going out or getting a coffee or something. I love matcha. Do you
Ooh.
love matcha?
I haven't tried matcha,
No,
guys.
it's really good. But yeah, I like small things like that. I do to get myself out of the funk
Mhm.
because I don't know, like they make me feel better. And the moment I like see that I'm doing something that's making myself go get better, like that just already like lifts my mood up.
Yes, I love that. And I'm so glad you mentioned about like the tidiness and
Mm-hmm.
cleanliness because believe it or not, like your room and your space is a reflection
Of
of
your
you.
mentality, yeah.
Yeah, literally of your mentality. And it's funny because I do the same thing. Like when I'm really sad, when I'm getting into like that depressive state, I actually take a look around. I notice like my clothes is already all over the place. It hasn't been organized
Mm-hmm.
in like a few days. And that actually affects me because then I just get lazy and I'll just keep throwing it or
Mm-hmm. Me
whatever.
too, girl.
But if
Yeah.
you have everything organized, you're like, I don't want to unorganize this. So then
Yes.
I do the same thing. I tied up everything, I reorganize everything, and that just makes me feel more motivated for the next day. Like, okay, you know what? Like, let me just get back to it or something, you know? Because, like I said, your space is a reflection of you. So if you have a messy space, you're gonna have a messy life. You're gonna have messy feelings. So in order for you to get out of that, try cleaning, try doing something like that to help
That.
you really reorganize your mind and your
Yeah,
space.
just keep your mind like, stimulated and just
Mm-hmm.
keep I don't know, just personally it makes me feel good to know like I'm aware of everything going on around me
Yes.
and I have
Yeah.
everything in check.
Yeah, because I feel like it gives you like a sense of control.
Yes,
Because you already
definitely.
have control over like all this stuff, then you could take control of your life. It's just like little baby stuff that you have to do that
Mm-hmm.
will eventually help you get out of this state of mind.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be simply your room. Like it could be like cleaning your car as well,
Yes.
and it doesn't have to be just cleaning necessarily. Like it could be like I don't know, painting or going out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, self care or just anything, applying anything that will motivate you and apply something that will motivate you, and you'll see progress almost immediately. So you can like motivate yourself. You know.
Yeah, whatever you're into, whatever hobbies you enjoy, like go out and do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You'll see immediately like how your mood's going to change and how you're gonna feel better. Like if you like to draw, draw for 20 minutes, take a walk around the block. I like to gym in, sometimes like when I
Oh
don't go,
yes.
I hate that because I feel so like not myself. But when I do go and even when I'm not feeling it, I force myself because after that gym sesh, you just feel a sense of accomplishment and it's like, you know what?
Yes.
I dreaded that, but I needed that. Like that really helped me, and that's something that helps me a lot.
Yes. Also, and I like that you brought that up because that just reminded me of like what helps me too. And that was a gym. A gym is part of
Mm-hmm.
my passion, and that like honestly goes into like finding yourself, getting yourself out of that space would be finding a passion because once I found my passion, which is like our podcast, like, working out, and just eating healthier, like the moment I fell out of it, like I feel shitty. Then the only thing I could think
Mm-hmm.
about is like, why would I run all this? Like, let me go back because let me see. Oh, sorry, why would I run all my progress that I've been doing with my passionate, projects, and that literally motivates me to like to look at the bigger picture and not let a small bump in the road hold me back from like all the things that I can achieve.
Yes, exactly. I love that. And another not passion, but thing that you can do like hobby or just cultivate in your life is really like finding out what's causing you to feel those emotions. So a lot of
Yes.
self reflecting, self meditating, journaling, like figuring out what's the root of that. Like, why am I feeling so angry this week? Why am I feeling so sad? Like, what's bugging me? Like, really get down to the root of that. Because if you don't, it's just going to keep happening and happening. And sadly, like, it happens to all of us, and we've
Yes.
been victims of that. And once I really started to focus on, like, okay, why are you so sad? Why are you so angry? Like, what's the problem? And just writing it down in my journal, like, it just seemed to be like a huge relief on me. And I just really started to realize, like, you know what, like, it's not even that serious. Like like
No,
all the
yes.
stuff that you're feeling, like, it's not that serious. Like, there's so many other things going on. And it may be really serious too, but you have to realize that there's so many other things to be grateful for. And I feel like once you pour out your heart and you self-reflect,
Yes.
you realize just how much more there is to appreciate.
Yes. And I feel like that does going with like shadow work. Like
Mm-hmm.
work on your shadow work and make sure you get to know yourself so you just get to know yourself better so you know how to help yourself. Because that's
Yes,
literally the only way you're gonna get yourself out of anything is just to really get to know yourself. Not who you perceive to be or who you want people to see you, but like to who you are. And I
exactly.
feel like that really like whenever like I would journal or do like my shadow work, like it would be like such a like an eye opening like thing because
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, why am I thinking this way when it's like not even like that? Like you said, like not that
Yeah,
serious.
yeah, like, and it's a beautiful thing to do once you shadow work and you really start to journal, meditate, and all this stuff. Like, um, I know lots of us can't afford therapists, and it's hard to
Yes.
actually find such a good therapist or some help out there. You just don't like help, simple as that. And I get that, I totally get that. But help yourself by doing that shadow work. Like,
Yes.
there's so many prompts out there you can search online. If you guys are even interested, we can put some, like, tell you guys some that to
Yes.
really help you guys work on some. But there's just so much for you to learn about yourself and really get down to the roots of, because that's the only way change is going to happen, and that's the only way you heal, sadly. Like,
Literally.
even if you do get a therapist, the work is all with you. Like, you're the one who has to do the work.
Yes. And now back to the topic about like the funk. Like I like also how you brought up like the giving yourself time because I'm the same
Mm-hmm.
way. Like whenever I'm going through it, I do give myself time to kind of like mope and feel sad,
Yeah.
and then like as soon as that time is over, it's like okay, like I gave myself time. Like now it's kind of like get it together because unfortunately, like life keeps going,
Yes,
and it
exactly.
won't stop for anybody.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, huge thing. Like, it's okay, to feel your sadness and, feel it. Cause like we said, you don't want that bomb to eventually go off and then it going off on the wrong person, or just really taking a toll on you where, you just don't like the person you see anymore in the mirror. And overall, guys, just know that it's okay to feel what you're feeling. Like, there's nothing wrong with you feeling what you're feeling. You're human and you're feeling all these things for a reason. So then just really getting to the bottom of, like, why you're feeling this and letting yourself feel it, because that's what makes us human. We all have feelings and we all go through stuff, and there shouldn't be no reason for you to not take that into account, because it is a big part of your life. And if it really is something that's taking this much of a toll you, then it is important, regardless of what anybody says. Like, it is important, but it's also important not to let that completely ruin you or take over, like, your entire life or your entire week or month. So it's just like, we were mentioning, it's just important to also feel the funk but get out of the funk.
Then to add more to that about falling into the funk, there is also like your surroundings, you as a person, as a like energy field. Like if you're a person who can like easily fall like into the funk, having negative surroundings around you, that being like items, people, or just everyday things that you could be doing, like being around that much negative energy can like easily make you fall into it. And like we said, like being around that negative energy, you can fall into it, and that will make in itself, having that around you, it will make it harder for you to even try to get out of a funk or anything. So I feel like that is really important for you to detach yourself and not surround yourself with that kind of energy, because at the end of the day, we don't want to like fall back into it consistently because
Mm-hmm.
it's not healthy for anybody.
Yeah.
Like even like everyday thing, like it's just not healthy for someone to be surrounded with negativity all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So then just really take a look around your surroundings, people or getting you into this funk, and realize, what, like, this person or this place isn't for me, and I have to distance myself because I'm in a place where I don't want to be and I don't want this near me. And just, that's the whole part of self-reflecting too, and really getting to know yourself, that this person or this place isn't for me. So I'm going to distance myself for me. And we talked about this one of the last episodes, like do stuff for
For
you,
yourself.
for yourself, regardless, because in the day it's like you're the only person that matters.
Yes, you're the writer of your story.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's why it's important for you to, do and take the circumstances that you need to take to further make yourself feel better. And like I said, if it's detaching yourself from that and knowing that it's no longer for you, like 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 you said, we all have a free will. Feel free to walk away. Like don't feel
Exactly.
like you should be around that. Like you don't owe anybody but yourself. Which
Yeah.
is why you should, immediately like just leave or not be around that.
Yes, exactly. I love that. Well put. And the fun can be like over little things and honestly big things too. So like talking about regardless of like places, certain work situations where I just didn't feel comfortable enough,
Yeah.
and like I kept trying and trying to force something that just wasn't doing it for me. And that's honestly got me into such a depressive state as well. I was just like, it's just not. And eventually realizing like how much of a toll my workplace was putting on me, it made me realize that okay, like this isn't healthy for me. I'm clearly not happy. I'm forcing something that I don't want, and it's just like the people around there were just sucking my energy, and I
Yeah.
felt it. I literally, you can feel it. And once you come to realize that and honestly make that decision for yourself, you'll feel so much better. And
Yes.
I know a lot of us have like the worry of like, oh, but I can't leave my work, or like I can't do this because I need the money, this and that. Like if you really trust in yourself and you trust in God or a higher source of power, whatever it is, just trust that everything's going to work out, and that the universe, like we said, is always on your side, and that there's so many other jobs out there. There's so many other
Yes.
places to apply, that it's just that you have to have the willingness and the power to do so. And trust me, everything will work out and you'll find it. It's just ultimately comes down to your happiness, because we are only on this earth for so much time, and honestly our lifespan is so short. So why would you want half of your lifespan to be working in a miserable place when you can be happy working somewhere else or just in a different place, whatever your situation is? I want to live a happy life. I don't want to be a life where I'm forced or feel
Yes.
miserable or surrounded by miserable people. So I'm very awakened to who I am in my life and where I am at my life. So that's just something to take into consideration.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up because for me it was something similar, but for me it was like I was like living
Hmm.
with people who were not good for me,
Yeah.
and that just comes to show how much, like I said, being around like negativity will drain you and will like get you into those kind of like that kind of mood. So like I said, like it's just important for you to know like you can walk away and you
Hmm.
can create boundaries. Like, don't be afraid to create boundaries. At the end of the day, you're doing this for yourself, and you want to make yourself feel better. Then go ahead and make your stance. Don't allow any of that like negativity to come over to you, because at the end of the day, you are the writer of your story, and if you have the will, you will have the way.
Exactly, yes. And just speaking of like negative people, like it is really important to cut those people off, because trust me, even though like you think it's not that big of a deal, it is, because you can feel a person's energy. I'm sure we've all felt it right
Yeah,
away. Like, this person doesn't like you, this person doesn't really want you around. Don't force anything.
yeah,
Don't try to really just go out of your way if it's not going both ways. If
yeah.
literally you're putting all this effort into someone and they're not putting the effort back, don't do it. Don't
Please
force
don't waste
it.
your time. Yeah,
Yeah, like you're just wasting your time when there's billions of other people out there that you
yes,
still haven't met. Keep in mind, you still haven't even lived your full life. You still have
yes.
so many other people to meet, so many other adventures to go through. And like,
So many more experiences.
yeah, so don't limit yourself, guys. And sadly, like I was doing that for a while. I was really trying to
Same.
force something with this person, and it's like it was just taking a toll on me. And just knowing
Yes,
that that person was just not giving me the same percent, and
yeah.
instead like doing me so wrong, I couldn't no more. And
Like at that
I'm
point, yeah. Sorry, no,
no,
go
go
ahead.
ahead,
Sorry,
go ahead.
no. Like at that point, you just have to forgive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
For them.
Yes, exactly. Um, and yeah, just know that like, and even if it's like this person, it's hard to get rid of them. Like, or certain situations, in my situation, this person was like almost family kind of. So it
Yeah,
was really hard to cut that person off, especially seeing them every single day. Like it's
yeah.
just hard. And I really put my boundaries down, and I said to myself, like, you know what? I want to do this to make somebody else happy, but I can't, because I'm not happy. I'm not happy forcing this. I'm not happy with the type of person I have to act around this person. And I'm not happy knowing that this is all fake, like this is all forced, and that's not me anymore. Like I'm not somebody who's gonna go around forcing people to like me. I'm not gonna go around forcing any relationship in my life because I am worth so much more, and you are
Yes.
too. You're worth so much more, and if somebody can see that or appreciate that, then
It's not
that's on
your
them.
job. Yeah, it's not your job.
Mm-hmm.
And that was beautiful, babe. I love that.
Thank you.
And like that was beautiful what you said about, how you created the boundary and stuff, because at the end of the day, that also is part of like helping yourself get out of
Mm-hmm.
that like funk. If you don't create boundaries, if you don't create a line where people can't cross, then you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's why it's really important for you to make boundaries and, like you said, leave if you need to leave, or just stand your fucking ground if you need to stand your fucking ground, because sometimes that's all you need. Like, that's literally all you need.
Yes, it really is. And trust me, guys, once you do that, like you feel relief. Like now I've
Mhm.
done that and I feel so much better. Like I don't have to constantly be worrying about this person or like constantly be
Yeah,
faking something that just wasn't there.
exactly.
And sometimes, guys, like it's better to keep your circle small with people who you actually,
Yeah.
trust and who people that actually make you happy and feel good instead of like just being competitive or envious or just hateful
Yes.
towards you. Like you don't want that shit in your life, guys.
Yes.
Like we don't need that kind of people. We don't need those kind of places.
Yes.
Like all you need is yourself and a couple good friends, and that's it.
Yes. And you'll know when you meet those people, because
Mm-hmm.
you won't feel like, you just know. You'll know.
Yes, trust. Also, with like setting boundaries,
Yes.
when you're feeling this funk, like it's okay to tell people no.
Yes.
Like, you know what? Like, I'm honestly not feeling like going out today. Don't force that. Don't force yourself into situations you don't need to be in,
Yes.
especially if you're not gonna give 100%, because then your
Yes.
mood's going to show.
And it's like some people don't deserve that,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
especially if like, sorry, no, you keep going.
No, no.
No, no. Especially if, like, like, yourself, and like, you can like avoid it, then why would you put that? Especially if it's
Yes.
like someone you love.
Exactly. Yeah. So like even if you got invited somewhere, just be honest. Like honestly, like I'm sorry, like I'm just not feeling it today. I don't want to go, and just go make it up to them another time when you're truly 100%. Because then if you're somewhere you're just forced, you're really not gonna feel it, and you're gonna hate yourself more for it and be like, I don't
Yeah.
want to be here. And why you don't want all that? You don't want any of
You're
that.
just
Just
draining your energy even more.
yeah. And we all have to recharge. So take that as this is my recharging period. I'm gonna feel all this, I'm gonna let all this out, I'm gonna recharge, and next week I'm gonna be the baddest bitch ever. Like I'll be
Exactly.
fine. And just really realizing that everything is temporary. Nothing's going to last forever. This pain that you're feeling, this sadness, whatever you're feeling in this moment, it's not going to last because everything's temporary and eventually it will pass. And you have to sometimes go through the rain to see the rainbow or to see that sun at the end of the day.
Exactly. I love that.
Thank you. Just think about it like a time that you were going through something so rough, like that didn't last. Now you look back at it and you're like, oh shit, like I went through that and I made it. So what makes you think you can go through this? Like,
One more time.
yeah, we've all gone through shit. And like sometimes that's what I do. I remind myself, like, you know what? This isn't even that bad. I've been through worse and I overcame that. Like, I can
Literally.
overcome this. I'm just gonna give it a day. Like, I'll be fine. And you
Yeah.
will.
And yeah, because I feel like those in the moments that I've had like that, though, I've learned like the most valuable lessons.
Yes.
Just, and take it for what it is. Like, take it as a lesson. Don't take it as a L. Like, not as
Yes.
a loss, but a lesson.
And there is no such thing as L's.
Yes.
L's are lessons.
Yes.
Remember that. And L is
Not
always a
losses. We don't
lesson.
take losses.
Exactly. But yeah, and I really like that you said that too,
Yes.
going on to lessons and see that for what it is. What you're feeling right now is a lesson. Learn from it. Realize after you've overcame that, like, okay, so what did I learn from this? I learned that, I don't like this, I don't need this person, whatever. Learn from that. And that's ultimately gonna make you feel better at the end. And then when you have a next hardship or a next funk, see it as I kind of do now, be like, yes, I'm going through this, but I'm happy because there's another lesson. The
Yes.
universe is teaching me a lesson right now, and you know what? I'm gonna ace it and I'll be fine.
Yeah, because why would I want to do that again?
Yeah,
Why would I
exactly.
want to repeat the cycle? We don't do that over
Exactly.
here. That's how I see it. Because if I don't see it as like anything else, I'm gonna get more sad. So it's like, whenever something happens to me like that, I'm just like, you know what? It's a lesson. A
Mm-hmm.
lesson to me that I need to do better next time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
So something else that happens to me when I'm in my funk is that I start to slowly be very mean to myself. Kind of like all my training goes through the trash, and I'll just be very mean to myself. I will start to kind of like, I don't know, just say really bad things about myself, which obviously isn't good. So then how I get out of it is that when I start noticing that I'm being really mean to myself, I kind of like take a breath and I kind of just tell myself, okay, like, you know what? No, I'm not. I remind myself like how of all the good stuff that I am instead of all the bad things that I'm telling myself. So I constantly, say positive affirmations. I look in the mirror again and I keep saying it until I start believing it again. Each time I say it with more confidence and I say it more loudly and I write it in my journal until, it works into my brain itself. Because, like we said, your brain's so powerful. And the more you say something, the more you're going to believe it. But that's just, so yeah, that's just what helps me, really saying your positive affirmations and believing it. And even if you don't believe it, say it and say it and say it every day till you do. For literally 24 hours, say it. I don't care where you are. Just say in your head, write it down, look in the mirror, in the shower, just say it. And eventually you'll see how it's going to help you get out of the funk and remind yourself of your good qualities and things that you really are.
Yeah, I like that you said that because I'm the same way. For me, it's like whenever I fall into it, I just get so like irritated because like I don't know, like whenever I'm feeling like that, I just can't like focus on one thing. Like I feel like my mind can't focus on one
Mm-hmm.
thing, so I get so like irritated, and like obviously my energy comes off strong, and like I just that's why like I just sometimes just isolate myself and go work out or do something that
Yeah.
like will keep my heart going like up, and then I can like slow down because I don't know, like it's just whenever I fall into it, I don't like I can't focus. Like my mind just has like a thousand things running through it, and
Mm-hmm.
it makes it harder for me to do simple tasks, like even like putting my clothes away, and it bothers me because I'm like that's why I don't. Whenever I fall into it, like shit doesn't get done because
Yeah.
my mind just like I'm like why am I overthinking it? But it's because
Mm-hmm.
it comes back to like falling into it. Like if you're falling into like that funk, you're not gonna think about all the good things you're doing. You're gonna be focusing on all the negative things that happen and are gonna happen, which is
Yes.
just a mind, all in your mind, you know?
Yes, exactly. Always remember that everything's happening in your head
Yes,
and just tell yourself, like this isn't that serious, I will get through it. And you will. Trust me, you will.
yes, because we got through it.
Yes. And yeah, just to emphasize again, like it's normal to feel all this, like we're not perfect. We still feel
Yes,
through this, we have good days, we have bad days, but it's really all about getting back up, not letting that win, and just knowing that, like we said, you are your creator, you are
yes,
director of this movie of life. So you can do it, you can get out of it, and just do whatever is going to help you get out of this.
yes. I love that.
So going back to what Brand said, like I'm the same. My mind like won't stop like making up these scenarios or just won't
Yes,
stop. My mind is like literally running 24/7. And it already is most of the time. But when I'm on
yes.
this funk, like it's like non-stop and it just drives me crazy. I feel like my brain needs to like just literally stop working for 1 second, but it won't.
Sorry. Do you feel like sometimes you just like you catch yourself just like
Yeah,
right? Like it's bad.
literally.
Like okay,
Like
good.
there's days like I'll just be in my bed all day, like
Yeah,
and
right.
I'm
Okay,
like,
I thought I was the only
fine.
one.
And like, okay, it just gets that bad, guys, just so
Yes,
you know.
yes,
But if we can get out of that, you guys can too.
yeah,
Trust. But when I do see that happening again, I realize it's because like I'm under so much stress too. But it's like stress that for me, I'm overthinking it in my head. It's stress I think like, oh, how am I gonna do this or blah blah blah. And it's just so many things going on in my head. So I like to stop and sometimes like I'll just write down what I have to do, or you know what, I'll take it slow. Each thing one at a time. So instead of trying to cramble everything together and get everything done all in one day, you know what, like slow down, do everything one step at a time, one thing at a time, and just realize that, you know what, like you may have this really big thing to do, but you can take the time to do it slowly, relax. Like if
yes.
it's gonna get done eventually, and even if you don't know how the hell you're going to do this thing,
Just trust
relax.
that it's gonna get done.
Yes, exactly. Relax. It's gonna get done no matter how it does, but don't over stress yourself over something that you don't have control over. Especially over things we don't have control over, don't stress because all you can do is have trust in yourself
Yes,
and the universe.
yes, and I love that you mentioned that. Oh, sorry, I love that you mentioned that because like I was about to bring up, whenever I do get like in those moments where I'm irritated, I just relax because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, it's partly because I'm over like stimulating myself or
Yes.
overthinking, and that already causes me not to be able to function well. So I just catch myself like, you know what? I relax, I sit down, I eat something, or I watch a video, whatever it is, and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
relaxes me, and it makes me like try to like kind of like restart my like self again.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just it's like you're able to catch yourself though.
And I love that you brought that. Sometimes it's simple as just relax.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, just
Yep.
relax. It's okay. Whatever you're stressing over about, it's still going to be there tomorrow. It's not going to go away, eventually it will, but for now, it's not gonna go away. So then it's okay. Go to bed for an hour, take a nap,
Yes.
watch something for an hour. It'll still be there the next hour. I guarantee you,
Yes.
it will still be there. But if you're that overstimulated, that overstressed, just relax.
Yeah.
Watch a TV, watch TV, give yourself an opportunity to do that. And I feel like today so many people are so overrunning themselves, especially today trying to just make it out there. Your
Yes.
jobs have you working like so fast. You get home, you still
Trying to
have to do
be
all this.
fit, trying to do all this. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just
Like sometimes we really just are
a
overworking
lot. Yeah.
ourselves. Yeah, and it's okay to relax. It's okay to let yourself just be in silence for a bit. And trust me, after that hour of just relaxing, you'll feel so much better. And then you're actually just giving your brain a break. And that's what you need. Your body needs a break too. Your brain needs a break too. And sometimes feeling that funk is a sign that your body's literally telling you like, hey, like I need a
Relax.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like your
You
body's
need to
physically
chill.
telling you.
Yeah.
And like we said before, like your body's always telling you what it needs. And sometimes
Yes.
that's simple as that. It needs to relax.
Yes. I love that. And like I like that. Like you brought up like the working stuff and everything. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
in my important just like a little tip. It's important for you to plan out your schedule. Like
Yes.
even like a weekly schedule because that way you're able to like find a way not to overwork yourself, you know? And that is
Mm-hmm.
just one thing that I do in my mind that helps me get out of that funk whenever I do fall into it. And you actually got me into it. I still use the notes you gave me.
Oh.
She gave me like my planner, and that literally helps me get out of it too, because it will make me or just it'll make my mind feel more like less overworked, thinking about when
Yeah.
I will get things done or what day in the week.
Yeah.
So just a tip.
Yes, that's a great ass tip, guys. I do the same thing.